Something is not quite right. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but as a business owner, as a business coach, and as somebody who is trying to be a little bit more public with my own work and how I am growing my own business and helping others to grow theirs, I notice that it's really tempting to present the shiny side of business. It's tempting to present only the wisdom that I have from my experience in helping small business owners grow and run their business. And maybe especially, it's tempting to present only a favorable depiction of the inner work that goes on as I do this work. So I wanted to share what's up for me right now and how I'm dealing with it. Yesterday, I published a new video on my YouTube channel. The video was about making connections, and I went to see my friend Jonas. Part of me just doesn't feel good about it. I've been bothered by it because something feels off. I've been thinking about what it could be. I've been wondering, why doesn't it feel good? What's going on? Part of me has been thinking that maybe you'll think that what I said in the video was being manipulative or somehow inauthentic around how or why I make connections, which, that would hurt my heart so much, because that's not at all why I make the connections. There's not a maneuvering or a manipulation involved, but it could come across that way. Totally could. So my heart knows that I'm not in my relationships. Relationship is so important to me. The ones that I maintain and am involved in and nurture come really from my heart. Part of me feels like the video yesterday was just too long. You know, I've done 3 videos on my channel so far, and all of them have been longer, and I recently got some feedback that said that they have to be short. And I know that's not totally true. I mean, there's totally room for short videos, but there's also room for longer videos. And I want to be mindful of both, so I accepted the feedback and I'm going to do better. In fact, I recorded a bunch of really short videos yesterday that I'm looking forward to releasing at some point. So that's not really it. So I've been doing what I teach, and I've taken this uneasy, uncomfortable feeling in my heart into my spiritual practice, into remembrance, taken it to the divine, and I've asked to be shown in my heart what is really here. What's really going on? What was shown to me, what I remembered, were 3 things that have been very present with me for a very long time. And I was reminded that when I step into something new, like this YouTube channel, doing something that's unfamiliar to me, that I am frankly a little attached to doing it well, I'll talk about that in a minute, there's vulnerability there, and so it exposes some of the deeper core insecurities and ineffective patterning that I have from my history, and it shows up. And those 3 things are unworthiness, perfection, and performance. So I want to start by talking about performance. As I was raised, the way that I came to believe that I could be worthy of love and receive love was by being a high performer, doing a really good job at whatever it is that I was doing. And as long as I did a good job, then, very important word, then I would be loved. And I actually got pretty good at it. I generally do pretty well at things that I'm trying to do, after a period of time at least. But yesterday, I felt like I was trying a little too hard. I felt like I was performing more than I was really showing up authentically. It feels a bit like I was putting on a show instead of just really coming from my heart. And as I say that, it feels really good. Just to face it. Whatever truth is in there, if I was performing and if there was any inauthenticity or I got out of my heart, it feels really good just to face that. That's really healing. And that leads me to the second thing, which is perfectionism. I talked about this in the first video that I posted on YouTube. When I do things, I like to do them really well. There is an element of perfectionism in it, but there's also an element of quality. And you can relate to that. We like to do things that are high quality. And I used to be a professional photographer. This was back in the days before the digital age, when we actually had to put actual film in the camera, right? And change the rolls. It was a while ago. So it's been a long time since I've been a professional photographer, but I haven't lost the expectations of myself of being a professional, and I was pretty good. My clients thought I was pretty good, and so I haven't lost that expectation of myself that what I do with a camera is going to be really good. And you know what I've realized in the short time that I've been doing these videos? It's really challenging, and I'm not as good technically as I used to be. My eye isn't as sharp as it used to be. My skills have dulled. And honestly, I'm doing things that I have never done before. This is video, not photography. And there are new things, new elements. I've been doing video for a while, but not like this. Not with the equipment that I have. Not with this level of intensity or intention. Some of the skills that I have from photography translate over, like lighting and composition, but a lot of it is very, very new. So honestly, as I checked into my heart, what I noticed was coming up for me was shame. Shame for the video that I put out yesterday, because it's not up to the standard that I expect of myself. And I know in my heart that the shame is undeserved. The video doesn't deserve it, and I don't deserve it. And yet, it's here, and it tells me that I'm not good. I faced this shame yesterday, even before I published it, because I knew it wasn't the quality that I want. And so I did practice yesterday and published it anyway. The video yesterday that I published was my first real attempt at what they call B-roll, which is kind of the storytelling of the context that isn't essential to the actual point, but it helps to build story and create interest. And that was my first attempt, and frankly, it was really, really amateur. And it was also my first outing outside of my home environment to film, getting in a car, going to a coffee shop, meeting with a friend, and doing filming throughout. And oh man, it's it's a really different experience. It's a really different experience than this one here in my office, where it's me and the camera and some lights. It's a really different experience. And I learned a lot. I learned so much. But you know, just a second ago I said that the video or my B-roll was amateur. Well, guess what? Guess what? I am. I am an amateur, and that's okay. This is where you start. So, I've had to resist this recurring inclination of mine to delete that video from yesterday. But I'm not going to. Here's the good news. I've done a lot of healing work around my shame. I've had so much of it from my childhood that I have worked on it. It's been a really intense effort. And so I know how to hold space for myself and for my heart. I know how to recognize it when it shows up. I know how to not shun it and to push it away. And I know how to reconnect to my heart in the midst of shame, so that I don't feed it by believing it's true, by deleting the video, so that I can avoid my discomfort. I know that in most cases, okay is okay. That good enough is actually good enough. So I know I don't need to delete the video, because at the very least, in a year, when I'm doing video still, and I look back at that video that I published yesterday, and I look at the quality of the video I did yesterday versus the quality of the video that I'm doing a year from now, I expect it will be astoundingly different. It couldn't not be, with all the practice that I'm sure to get. It's okay to be new at something. It's okay to not have mastered something yet. You know, it's even okay to feel uncomfortable with what you're putting out there. It's okay, it's natural to have doubts about it. What we can't do is hide. What we can't do is stop. We need to continue to bring our gifts, however they show up, to the world with love and mercy and compassion and empathy and kindness and love and heart. So now that I've reconnected to my heart, I can go about my Saturday. All is well. As a result of this video, what I don't need is encouragement, reinforcement, or advice, so please don't offer any of that in the comments. What I would love to hear, however, is whether or not you've faced any of these same things. And my hope is that by watching this video, that it will help you to bring more empathy to your heart also, so that you keep showing up in the world. If so, I'd love to hear about it. If this video resonated with you, please like it and subscribe. That's great feedback for me. Comment below if you wish, and I look forward to seeing you next time. May the will of love be done. Always. Take care.